Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial of how to cut a stylish cut together underbust dress with ruched shoulder. So if this is something you like, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. So let's dive right into today's video. So to start, I've gone ahead to mark out all my basic measurement, which includes my shoulder to bust, shoulder to underbust, shoulder to waistline, and I marked 7 inches after my waistline to get my hip point. For a much taller person, go ahead to use 8 inches. So now you're going to mark your shoulder divided by 2, and you're going to come down by 1 inch at this point. After you're done marking that, you want to go ahead to place your ruler, connect and draw your shoulder slope. Next is to find your chest line, which is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Mine is 7 inches and I made a mark and I'm drawing out a straight line at that point. Go back and mark what is on your shoulder, which is your shoulder divided by 2, and mark. Now I'll place my ruler and I'll connect, drawing out a straight line. So for this pattern, I'm not drawing out any armhole curve at the armhole because I'll be extending the sleeve from the shoulder. So for this pattern, if you notice on the dress, we don't have a dart. So the next step you want to take is to mark your bust circumference divided by 4, and I'll mark, add my sewing allowance. Mark my underbust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. So for your underbust and bust, please just use 1 inch for your sewing allowance. At the waistline, mark your waist circumference divided by 4, and you can use more than 1 inch for your sewing allowance. Now at the hip, mark your hip circumference divided by 4 and add your sewing allowance. You can equally use more than 1 inch for your sewing allowance. So whatever measurement you have on your hip point, go ahead to take 1.5 inches or 2 inches from it and mark at the lower part, because you want to create that fitted effect at the lower part of the pattern. So now I'm going to connect from the bust to the underbust, from the underbust to the waistline, and from the waistline I'm going to connect to the hip point. So your hip point is 7 inches after your waistline, but for a much taller person you can use 8 inches. So I'll just go ahead and connect. So after I'm done connecting at this point, we are going to go ahead to outline the upper part of this dress. So from here, you want to mark a basic neckline of 3 inches at this part, and I'll go ahead to mark. After I'm done marking, I'll extend that my shoulder at the upper part. I will not be using this shoulder slant. My shoulder slant will be starting from the upper part of my pattern. Next, you want to come down by 1 inch or ½ inch from your bust line. So from that neckline of 3 inches at the top, go ahead to connect to the lower part this way. After you're done connecting, you can come down by 1.5 inches or 2 inches after your underbust and connect from that point all the way down to that measurement under your underbust. So I used 1.5 inches. Between 1.5 or 2 inches is okay. I'll go ahead to outline this part of my pattern, and after I'm done marking this, the next step is to work on the shoulder part. And before doing that, I'll just go ahead to outline the rest of my pattern. So at this part, you're going to take the measurement from your shoulder to your elbow point, because that's where our dress, the sleeve, stopped. So I'm going to mark my shoulder to elbow point, and from that point I'll come down by 1 inch. So I'll go ahead to connect from this part now down to that 1 inch at the end of our sleeve length. That is, your measurement for the sleeve is starting after the shoulder, just like you take your normal sleeve measurement from the shoulder, and you're going to extend. After you're done marking this, I'm going to go ahead to mark my round sleeve measurement, that elbow point where you want the sleeve to stop. Take the round measurement you have there and add ½ or 1 inch for your sewing allowance. Then go ahead to connect. My elbow round is 11 divided by 2. I have 5.5, adding extra ½ or 1 inch. So from the sides, I'll blend up from that 1.5 inches to the bust, and from the bust I'll draw like a curve and then I'll connect it. So this is what I have after I'm done connecting my sleeve, and I'll go ahead to mark this out. So for this dress, to achieve the ruche effect you have on the dress, you're actually going to attach an elastic to the shoulder, but you're not going to use this actual measurement you have here. you're going to be cutting your pattern into different layers, and you're going to place it on your fabric. And when placing, you're going to add at least 1 inch, 1.5 inches, half inch, depending on how ruched you want the shoulder of your dress to be. And when you're sewing this, at the underbust area, you're going to pleat whatever you have, maybe the gathers that you're going to have there, because of the slash and spread method under the at the underbust of the dress. So when you're sewing your dress, you're going to attach an elastic at the upper part of the shoulder. That is, after you're done joining the front and the back shoulder, you're going to add an elastic to it. So for this slashing, you can use or cut to whatever desire you want. I'm just slashing mine into 7. That doesn't mean this 7 is a standard. I'm just making use of 7. You can cut more than this, or you can use less than this, depending on the ruche effect you want to achieve on the shoulder. So I'll go ahead and I will cut out my pattern. So if you have any question regarding this tutorial, please don't forget to leave your question at the comment section. And at this point, if you haven't yet subscribed, please hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, leave your comment at the comment section, as it helps this video also. And if you also want to join our WhatsApp group, you can also leave a comment at the comment section, or go ahead to send a message to our WhatsApp number. So this is the upper part of the pattern, and this is what we have. So going down to this lower part, we are going to cut the back. So for the back, so if you use about 2 or 2.5 inches after your underbust, you're going to cut yours lower. So for this, I'll be cutting exactly where I went down from. That is 1.5 inches from my underbust. And for the back pattern also, you need a zipper allowance. So when I was marking out my pattern, I went ahead to mark out my zipper allowance first. So your zipper allowance can be 1.5 inches or 2 inches. So next, I'll be getting rid of the bulginess at the back. At the waistline, mark ½ inch, extend, and also extend at the upper part. So this is after you're done cutting the front pattern. You can use the back pattern. You can use the front pattern to cut the back pattern at the lower part. So even if you don't add your zipper allowance while cutting, after cutting for the back, just go ahead and add your zipper allowance and use your pattern to cut it out. So for the back pattern, I've gone ahead to mark out all the basic measurements I need, just like we marked for the front. For the upper part of the back, you're going to measure your shoulder to waistline plus that extra 1.5 inches you came down from the underbust, because the lower part of the pattern started at that point. That is your shoulder to underbust plus that 1.5 inches. Or if you came down by 2 inches or 2.5, that is also where your pattern will start. So I'll also outline the zipper area. Next, I'll mark a basic neckline of 3 inches. Now from here, I'll extend it all the way to the zipper part. So you notice the back pattern, there's no zip at the upper part of your dress, and you're going to cut this out, although you'll be needing this part when you're inserting your body measurements. So after the shoulder point, just like we did for the front pattern, go ahead to mark your shoulder to sleeve point, go down by 1 inch, and I'm going to reconnect this now for the sleeve. So I marked out all my basic measurements just like we did for the front. So next, you also want to measure the round circumference of your sleeve where it stops, and mark, add your sewing allowance just the same way we did for the front pattern. The only difference for the back is that the back has no zipper and there's no underbust that is going up. So here you want to insert your bust circumference divided by 4, add your sewing allowance, mark your underbust circumference divided by 4, add your sewing allowance. So if you notice, I had to place that side that we cut out to take out the measurement for the back. Now you're just going to reconnect and draw this out, and you're also going to go ahead to slash this out. So whatever you use in slashing out the front, you can also use it to slash out the back, so that the ruffle or gathers effect at the shoulder and at the lower part will be the same you have for the front and the back pattern. So I'll just go ahead and mark this, and I'll be labeling it. So after I'm done marking this out, I'll just go ahead to cut it out. So you're also going to slash and spread it on a fabric to achieve the back pattern. So with this, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. If you find this video very interesting and educative, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and join us in our next video. Thanks.